Maybe kedai to start. The Rebbe, in the Sichos after Hei Teves, the Rebbe mentioned that these are Yemei Rotzen, Yemei Skula. So it's maybe kedai to begin with a L'chaim, was Hei Farbrengen can ufton, can Malach Michol nicht ufton, especially in this place, and especially during this time, to say L'chaim together for Yidden wherever they are, especially in Eretz Yisrael, Artzeinu Akdesha, that there should be the Dan Notzach in all inyonim, B'teiv Hanira V'Anigle, not just L'mayla in a Eifen Nisi, L'mayla Mikol Agdorim V'Agboles, Bayomi Moheim Bizman Hazel, L'chaim L'chaim. A few years ago, we were sitting together by a Farbrengen here, maybe 10 years ago, here by the Ohel. And via Sfirzach by a Farbrengen, the Elam, the people that were by the Farbrengen, they were speaking about Hei Teves. And what exactly the Nukud of Hei Teves is, and what exactly it means to us. And this one was saying this, and this one was saying that. And there's already a lot of sichos about Hei Teves. There's plenty of sichos to be mafalpelin and to learn pshat and ataych and to apply to ourselves. So I remember we were sitting here, and there was a younger man that was by the Farbrengen, saw a younger man that was around during the time of Hei Teves, and he was becoming uncomfortable with the whole discussion. There was something about the discussion that he felt wasn't capturing what Hei Teves is. And finally, he blurted out, he said, Ich verstehe nicht, was ihr redt. I don't understand what you're talking about. What else do you need to understand what Hei Teves was? Why do you have to go into all of these explanations? He said, it's not enough for you, and you can see this even on the video, you can see it even when you listen to the sichos. It's not enough for you, the tsar and the agmas nefesh, and the anguish that the Rebbe was undergoing through a year and a half, almost 2 years. The metach, the watching the Rebbe in that way, and that the Rebbe was nigal from that matzav. Everything else, avada, there's other inyonim of Hei Teves. And they have to be discussed, and they have to be understood, and they have to be applied. The Rebbe explained like never before the inyan of what Chaye Atzadik is. The Rebbe explained what means Ma'azare B'chaim, the connection between Zare and Hu B'chaim, how deep that connection is. The Rebbe spoke about Inyonim Shopel, about Amazol Aris Gen Kefen Svarim, Umesiv Zayin Limud HaTeira, and to establish libraries, and to be Marchiv the Rebbe's library. Maybe it's Kedai to mention that there's always on Hei Teves, there's a special magbis that's done for the Rebbe's library. But these are all, the way he was speaking about the Farbrengen is that these are all like things that are on top. These are hesbedim. Al derech like Yutas Kislev, there's 200 years of biurim of what Yutas Kislev is. But for the Chassidim that knew that the Alter Rebbe was in prison, in Sakonas Chayim, those are all hesbedim that come on top of the Yesod. And the Yesod is that the Rebbe was in a matziv, oyim v'neira, the Rebbe said here by the Sikha, that it was in Mavil, it's in Mitzar, And it was going on for a very long time. And now it's very easy to say, but B'Shas Maisa, nobody knew, Rahmanu Litzlan, what the outcome would be. And you could see the Agmas Nefesh on the Rebbe, and it was in every Sikha, in every Farbrengen, that if the Rebbe wasn't speaking about it clearly, the Rebbe was speaking about it between the lines. And there were a lot of anhogis from the Rebbe that changed when the Mishpat HaSvarim started. Things that you could see, day-to-day things. But we can't forget about what it is be'etzim to a chosid, the way a chosid is supposed to look at it. There's a sikha from the Friedrich Rebbe. There's a sikha from the Friedrich Rebbe. It's a sikha that there's a story of the Rebbe Marash. And Lepayel, that sikha, there's biurim of the Friedrich Rebbe on this sikha. There's a biur from the Rebbe on this sikha. The Rebbe tells a story. But the sikha that the Friedrich Rebbe tells begins with the story of the Rebbe Marash. The Rebbe Marash was once traveling through Vitebsk for Inyonei Aklal. And Chassidim heard that the Rebbe Marash was going to be in Vitebsk, or I think it was Tezvav Ba'ov. And they sent a delegation to the Rebbe Marash of the Zkenim that the Rebbe Marash should say a maimer. And the Rebbe Marash said that mitzad his chlishus abrius, mitzad his health situation, he wasn't able to say a maimer. Or betaruis kumen reidna par vertes to the elam. He's going to come outside. The Rebbe Marash will speak a few words to the elam. And then people heard about it, and since Changik Lima Elam, people gathered, the news spread that the Rebbe Marash is going to speak, and there wasn't enough room in the shul. They had to move it outside to the chotzer. And the Rebbe Marash came out, and the Rebbe Marash then spoke a sikha, a short sikha, that later the Chassidim said that halavai by Ne'ilah, the His'edus, that was B'Shas Maisa, by that sikha, halavai by when they say Al-Chet, or by Ne'ilah, or Ervim Kippur, that they should be holding by that dargah when the Rebbe Marash, and the Rebbe Marash spoke a famous sikha about es past und es past nicht, which in English, loosely translated, means there are things that are befitting for a person and things that are not befitting for a person. And the Rebbe Marash, there are certain things that mitzad the status of a person as passt nicht. It's not fitting, it's not right that a person of such a stature should be involved in such things. And and on the other hand, for a person of a certain stature, it fits that he should be involved in similar things. Different things, I'm saying. And the Rebbe Marash went on to enumerate 10 things was es passt nicht for a chosid, that it doesn't fit for a chosid, and 10 things was for a chosid passt yeah. And again, the Friedrich Rebbe later mentioned this and followed up with this in subsequent Farbrengens, and there's also a time when the Rebbe spoke about this story. But before the Friedrich Rebbe started this story, the Friedrich Rebbe said that when the Rebbe Marash, before the Rebbe Marash mentioned all the es passt und es passt nicht, the Rebbe Marash began like this. He said, came out to the chotzer, and this is how the Rebbe Marash started. It started like this. That there's a loshin in Medrash, benoyeg sheba'elam, other the loshin marshal lama dover dema, marshal lemelech, marshal leben melech. And it says like this. The Alter Zayde, the Alter Rebbe teaches avas elam, was pshat avas elam, an ave was is lekucha mi'inyonei elam. A ave that we speak about and we apply to our avas Hashem, to love for the Eibishter from inyonei elam. Das heißt, a Liebschaft zu Hashem Yisborich, was es mit a Gefühl, wie me fühlt a Ave in Weltsachen. That means that we take that there's an Ave to the Eibishter with the same emotion, with the same sense, with the same identification like we have to Weltsachen, to Ave of things that are easier, more relatable, things about the world. Das heißt, am soll nutzen eich in Avedes Hashem Yisborech die weltliche, verständliche Leschenes. Meaning that the pshat of Avos Elam is that we should use, when it comes to an Ava for the Eibishter, we should use terminologies, a language that's more relatable, that's closer to us, mitzad, what it means to a human being. And then the Rebbe Marash continued and said, Asidoa, Loshen, es passt und es passt nicht. And then the Rebbe Marash started enumerating what that means and applying it to what it means to the life of a chassid. There's something called, the Rebbe Marash is saying here, that there's something called Avos Elam. When we speak about an Ava to the Eibishter, we speak about some ideas. You can say when we speak about Hei Teves, there's talking about it on a spiritual plane, on a very, very intellectual level, on a level of dargis, umehal, that our life shouldn't be chayim psorim, v'chulu v'chulu. But sometimes the beginning is pashit to realize and to recognize and to apply the same type of human emotions and feelings and attachments that we have in our gashmiistic life to the way that we relate to the Rebbe. I can tell you that in Tavshim Mem Zayin by Hei Teves, nobody dropped everything they were doing to come to New York and be by the Rebbe because they knew that the Rebbe was going to speak a sikha, because they knew that it was Yemei Rotzen, or that the Rebbe would even recognize the fact that people came and the fact that the Rebbe would be greatest, that it's Yemei Simcha. Nobody knew that the Rebbe was going to say that it's Yemei Rotzen and that they should write in Panim. And nobody even asked anyone if they should do it. When a regular, simple chassid that wasn't even such a ruchnistic yid saw and witnessed what the Rebbe was going through during this past year and a half before the Didan Notzach, and was a part of the, like the Rebbe said, the Sveikis and the Halem Vehester and the strain. Nobody needed to ask their mashpia, is this something I should go travel to the Rebbe to be together with the Rebbe? It happened on its own. It wasn't. You wanted to be together with the Rebbe after such a time, to be misameach b'simchosei, just like you were living through the Agmas Nefesh together with the Rebbe. I think that there was one of the yeshivas that asked, one of the yeshivas that had a stricter policy, mitzad the Rebbe, of that they couldn't come visit the Rebbe so often. They had to get special reshus and so on. So the Bachar, or the Anhola of that yeshiva, asked Anhola HaMerkozis, Rabbi Mentor, if they correctly, he said, like, was heißt, Yutes Kislev? Like, what do you mean? This is like Dr. Rebbe getting out of prison. This isn't like this is a different type of situation that's going on here. It's not the regular thing. It's a whole different thing. You know, sometimes I think mitzad the hafla and the ruchnistic nature of what a kesher of a chosid to a Rebbe is supposed to be about, we sometimes bypass what the Frierdiker Rebbe calls here Amizol nutzin in Avedes Hashem Yisbarach die weltliche verständliche Lashenes. To apply the same way that we deal with a personal simcha, with something that's negea on a very, very human level, to apply it to the way that we are attached to the Rebbe. There are some things that a regular, healthy human being understands on their own, and they don't have to be told to do it. When the Chassidim dropped everything and came to the Rebbe, they didn't have to say, where is it katuv in asicha? Why is Hei Teves special? Give me to understand, and then maybe if you inspire me, then I'll show up, then I'll be a part of it. You know, I'm in the part of my business, my work, is that people have to, sometimes I get requests from Bachrim that are in yeshiva that they want to go be mishtatif in a simcha of a sibling, of an uncle, an aunt, a chasana, bar mitzvah, this or that. And then you have to, you know, how many days and how many hours and this and that. Nobody ever says the questions, maybe a few really, really chassidish bachrim, but the question never comes to, you know, question is never raised. You know, I'm not sure if I need to find a mocker in a sicha that allows for me to go be mishtatif in something that's a very, very special moment to my family. I want to know if al pi ruchnis ha'inyanim it's gehalten such a thing. Nobody, that's not the, why? Because this is something that they feel. If I'm a child, or I'm a brother, or I'm a sister, or I'm a nephew, or that's something that I have to be at. And you don't have to be a big Baal Regesh to feel it. That's what people do. They join and they celebrate together, and they want to be together at moments like this. And the Rebbe, nobody did it for that reason, but the Rebbe Taka recognized and thanked more than once the Chassidim that came, and it wasn't just the Chassidim, the men, it was the women. The Rebbe said, Beferish during the Sicha Nasara B'Teves to Tula de Itza. And the Rebbe Taka inquired about by some of the Chassidim, is your wife here? Because there are some things that a healthy human being that understands some basic relationships understands that they don't need to be a Baal Regesh for. Hei Teves doesn't have to be the result of a bikius in every sicha and so on and so forth. Of course there has to be all of these things. And of course there's all of the biurim that the Rebbe said and that we have to think about and internalize and v'chulu v'chulu. But anyone with a healthy beating heart, this is something that goes without question. You know, there's just going to be Messiah with one more nekuda that I know I have a lot of times discussions with young Bachrim, and one of the things that comes off very often is, but what if I don't feel what you're saying? What if I don't, I understand that that's how I should feel, but I don't feel it. And I don't, these hergeshim, or there's this, or there's that. What if I'm not there? What if it, to me, it's a thing that I realize that I should be, but I'm not. So first of all, this is part of the condition of being an ikvus de Meshicha and having the neshamas that are gilgulim multiple times, that are not the highest type of neshamas, with sensitivities to the Eibishter the way it once was. But I have yet to encounter a situation where somebody says, I think that I want to question if I should, maybe go to my sister's chasana, because I don't know if I have enough hergish. I don't know if I feel it deeply enough in my bones. I don't know if how emes it is. There's some basic things that a person does, weil halt sich nont. That's his life. That's where he's at. Es fällt in hergish. Okay, darf man werden edeler. Darf man Farbrengen, darf man lernen, darf man davenen, darf man turn in a skafia, fine. But whoever said that because it's felt in hergish, that the relationship is no longer important? Dafke today, I came across a sicha of Yud Beis Tammuz. I think it's Tav Shech Chav Ches or Tav Shech Chav Tes. And I'll finish with this nekuda, that where the Rebbe speaks about the inyan of Hayomim Ohel Niskarim V'Nasim. So Bechlal, usually the way it's understood, and Levi mentioned it before from other sichas where the Rebbe spoke about it, that as B'Shas is Niskarim V'Sedarf zu sein, that when we think and you invest in the Niskarim, is Yemot Vert V'Nasim. It comes alive. The thing, it happens again. It's alive. The thing happens. So in this Sikha, the Rebbe spoke a different nekuda, and the Rebbe says, Amol is verkehrt. As frier darf sein der V'Nasim. First, you have to come. Man darf zusammenkommen sich. Und man darf feiern. Und das wird zugeben in dem V'Niskarim. You can't wait for your hergeshim to lead you to all the right places. You have to think, Avas Elam. How would I behave? How would I do? How would I relate to it on a human level? I is felt in hergish. Darfst du lernen. Darf man davenen. Darf man Farbrengen. That's why we're here. Durch dem V'Nasim, wie sie darf zu sein, jemult wird V'Niskarim, wie sie darf zu sein. So the Eibishter soll helfen. It's still early in Hei Teves. It's the night, the beginning of Hei Teves. Am soll feiern Hei Teves, wie sie darf zu sein. The way it deserves. Like what we saw it was to the Rebbe. Und die was kennen, even if it's expensive, they should come to the Rebbe as even mit Yemult getan. Men there, Fruyen, men, women, children. And the Rebbe says, even for the Rebbe didn't say this exact lashon, but even for selfish reasons, the Rebbe said it's Yemei Ratzon. It's a time that you'll gain from being together with the Rebbe. Is also tifin in the message of Hei Teves, in the was Rebbe is, was die Verbund, was wir haben zum Rebbe, was das meint nach Gimel Tammuz, wie die Zare und die Huba Chaim und die Zare Bachaim is ein Sach, wie der Rebbe, how the Rebbe infuses life into us. And we should be zeicher to the emes simcha. The simcha that we felt a me'ein of, for sure, during the days of Hei Teves, when we'll be together with the Rebbe, begashmias, besevas smachas, by the emes simcha, soll sein bei uns und bei alle Jiden, l'chaim, l'chaim.